All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Football Showdown. Today, I have my cousin again. We're going to be talking about the three teams that are underachieving the most and which one's underachieving the most out of those three, I guess. TikTok, somewhere over here if you want to go for short form content. But anyway, let's get into the video. Obviously, we have Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, who are all competing for the Premier League title this season. They're all not up to standards that they were last year for Arsenal and City, and then Liverpool, who haven't met their standards for 2 years ago, I'd say, 2-3 years. But out of those three teams, who do you think is underachieving the most this season? It has more levels to reach.
Before we started the video, I was thinking Man City because I just think that they're the best team out of the three, and I believe they're third right now. They're behind Arsenal.
Fourth. Yeah, because then
Aston Villa. I thought they were.
No, yeah, they're third. They're third. My fault.
Yeah. So, but now that I'm thinking about it more, I think I'm gonna go with Arsenal.
Oh.
Because just the injuries that Man City have had, and with De Bruyne, I just think that they're just gonna catch that form that they had throughout their tenure. But with Arsenal, I see, the injuries to Timber and the injuries to Partey, they obviously matter, but I see it more so it's just the flow of the team just isn't working. I think Havertz, this is not me as a Chelsea fan saying this, I just think Havertz is not a footballer. I
have to agree on that one.
I think it's throwing him into the team has just thrown everything out of whack. He's lazy. He's slow. He's indecisive.
And he has no, position. People are saying, well, he's an 8. He's a 10. He's a striker. But you guys didn't know what to do with them over at Chelsea. Arsenal clearly have no idea where to put him in at Arsenal. So it's like he's just kind of a useless footballer, like you said.
And when I look at Arsenal, and when you make a signing like Declan Rice in the summer, when you spend $65 million on a Kai Havertz, those are signings where you're thinking, okay, we almost won the league last year. These are signings that are going to take us to that next level and win us the league. And not only have they not improved, but they've been not even just one tick, multiple ticks worse than they were last season. I think it was before their last game, I think they were, 10 points off the mark that they were at that point last season, maybe more.
I want to say it was 13.
Yeah, 13. So, yeah,
Yeah, because they were on 57 points. People were saying that they were going to reach 100 points. And obviously they didn't. They ended up well short of that.
Yeah, so when you sign somebody for $100+ million, you tell me he's the best defensive midfielder in the world, I expect you to improve. And they've not only not improved, they've gotten much worse. So I think my answer would be Arsenal.
Okay. I see that point. I want to go with Man City, though. Man City, we all know what they've been for the last couple of years, right? Most dominant team in England. League-wise, they've won 5 of the last 6 years. And in those years, majority of the time, competing with Liverpool, it was at minimum 90 points if you wanted to even have a chance of winning that. And this year, I think it's easily going to be high 70s, low 80s in order to win a Premier League title this season. And by that standard, City have completely dropped off. They don't have Liverpool, who are the Liverpool old when Klopp was first there, always pushing them, because City knew if they drop points, Liverpool were going to be right there on their tail. Where it's Liverpool are in a rebuild, so they're like, all right, we can kind of take our foot off the brake because they're not going to achieve those heights that they usually do. So we'll be fine once KDB comes back. And so I think Man City just have a couple more levels to reach. And they've been bad, but only bad for City standards because, honestly, 5 games, and they had 4 draws and a loss. But if that was any other team, you'd probably just be like, it is what it is. But because that's City, and we expect win after win after win, we view it a bit differently, in my opinion. So now that KDB's there back, Haaland could be better. He only has 14 goals so far in 20 games. They play 19. But that's significantly worse than what it was last year, I would want to say.
Yeah, it was about a goal a game last year.
Yeah, and now he's really bad. He's not even getting a goal in a game with assists added to that. He's 14 goals, 4 assists, so he's dropped off. Obviously, without Gundogan, the midfield hasn't been able to click. Mateus Nunes not performed. I don't even know why they signed him because he was really bizarre. I didn't think he was that good at Wolves. Because he was linked to Liverpool for a while, and I was scared that we were actually going to sign him at one point. And then Kovacic just hasn't hit the ground running. You know, injuries.
Baller though.
Yeah, like he could be good, but injuries have kind of affected him. Hasn't been getting the minutes. And then outside of those two, you're looking at guys named Oscar Bob. I'm sorry. Like he could be good eventually. But if you're relying on Micah Hamilton and Oscar Bob to win games.
Man City fans tell you he's better than Ice Cold Palmer, though.
I mean, did you not see Ice Cold Palmer the other day against Burrow?
One game.
Hey, he was real cold out there, missing those sitters.
One game.
He looks like Darwin Nunes.
Borderline world class.
Nunes.
Shut up.
All right. Anyway, we got those two teams out the way. I go City has underachieved the most and still have levels to reach. He thought it was City at first before we started this, and now he's going Arsenal.
And the reason also why I think it's Arsenal is because I just look at their individual players. Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard. Jesus dropped off the end of midway through last season, but even just compared to the overall last season, it's just a lot of players just have regressed, you know?
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Martinelli, Saka specifically, those two were, and Odegaard really, he's probably the best one out of 3 last year.
Oh, yeah.
But those 3 were just so good. They were so adventurous, so confident, and they just don't look the same. Saka and Martinelli, especially Saka, who I rate higher than Martinelli, he just looks like he's playing like shackled this season. Like he doesn't have the same just confidence it looks like. Yeah. It looks bizarre. Last year they were just so free flowing and confident, and it just looks totally different.
I was seeing there was an Arsenal fan. He was talking, and he said that one of the reasons why he thinks this, and I kind of agree with it, is he's saying that Arteta has put such an emphasis on ball retention that they're almost scared to lose the ball and go forward and drive with that confidence and free flowingness that they had last season, because they're like, well, the coach is saying ball retention above anything else. So do I try and beat a defender or two and risk losing the ball, or do I take a 5-yard drop back in order to make the manager happy so that way I can play more games and stay longer? And also another thing is Saka hasn't had a break this season. I don't remember a game where Saka didn't start. Like FA Cup, probably could have given him a rotation, let Reece Nelson get some minutes along with Trossard, but no, they stuck with Saka. Do you know a game where Saka didn't start?
I can't remember, and it's because they still haven't signed an adequate backup for him or competition. They have adequate competition or backups for every other attacking position, but you know I guess I just think he got young legs. He can play 60 games a season. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
because I'm sorry, Reece Nelson isn't good enough to be your backup right winger. He had a couple of decent games last season where he scored some clutch goals, but if you're relying on a guy like him to be your backup, you're stuck. Because even Liverpool, I don't think we have a good enough backup, but we still have Harvey Elliott, who could be decent enough, not to replace Salah, but to give him at least a rest every now and then.
Yeah.
Come on for the last 15, 20 minutes of a game, so that way Salah, like, hey, Salah, you've got another game in 2 days. We need you to come off so that way you're more rested. Arsenal just don't have that with Saka. You can't have your best player out there playing 90% of your games or 100% of their games in the last 2 seasons without a break.
Your friend that said that, I think he's onto something, because when you look at their possession stats, they are better than last year's. But yeah, he's got Saka out here playing like Jack Grealish, man. He's scared to take on a man. He carries the ball for half a dribble and he passes it back just like Jack Grealish, man. He just looks not scared. He just doesn't look as confident. It's weird.
And I think Arteta has taken a step back as well. Arteta's coaching, it looks like he's running out of ideas. He looks more frustrated out on the pitch. Last season, anytime they messed up, he's always clapping on the sidelines, encouraging his team, kind of like how Jurgen Klopp does with Liverpool. But for this season, sure, I'll see him clap it up a little bit, but when things start getting tough and it looks kind of hard for them to find a result, then he kind of sits back and kind of goes into a little hole, and just, I think that might influence the rest of the team. Anything else you want to add before we head off?
I don't know if he's regressed. I just think he might have just been slightly overrated.
Yeah, that could be true.
I don't think it's him regressing. He's overthunk it. You didn't need to buy Havertz. You know, why is Zinchenko still playing left back, inverting and playing no defense? Why is it's just, why is Gabriel Jesus still playing? Why is Nketiah making $100K a week?
Yeah, and to not play either.
Yeah, you spend all that money just to have Gabriel Jesus still be your striker, which I've talked to you before. I actually kind of rate Gabriel Jesus, but he's just not a league-winning striker.
No.
I just, it baffles me that he said, you know what, Kai Havertz is a signing. Yeah. Instead of saying, let's get us a bagsman at striker. Let's get us some cover for Saka. Let's get this useless midfielder.
Let's
That's
get
not
a
even
second goalkeeper.
It's just odd. I don't know what he saw in some of these signings, but that's why he's coaching Arsenal and not me. So maybe he knows something I don't know.
I mean, I have to agree with you as well. Having two first choice level goalkeepers before you have adequate cover for Saka, a striker, left back, or even a right back. You have Ben White playing right back, who clearly doesn't have pace or the know-how to be a right back. Just can't. The team just has too many holes. And I think they're a victim of overachieving so much last season, and everyone else being so poor that this season they just naturally had to take those steps back. And like you said, Arteta's probably overrated. Quickly over on Liverpool, talk about them a little bit before we head out. Liverpool, I say that they're underperforming. He thinks that they're overperforming from where they were last season, but I like to look at it from what Klopp's standards have always been as the Liverpool manager. It's when we compete for titles, it's minimum 90 points. From that aspect, I would say that we're underachieving, but I don't know. Give your point real quick.
I wouldn't say overachieving. I just think they're playing about how I would expect. I mean, last year they came fifth. I know it was a worse season than what you would expect for Liverpool, but it was a lot of change. It's a lot of change this year. They've gone from fifth to first. They have 45 points after 20 games, which is a good mark about halfway through the season. I think they're just playing. I'm sure some of the performances, some halves haven't been, the best performances, but overall, I think when you look at the tally that they're at right now, I think this is fair. I don't think you can expect much more from this team than what they have right now.
Yeah. All right. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who do you think is underachieving the most out of the three teams that we talked about? Or if there's even another team that you want to mention, like Manchester United or Chelsea, who have been underperforming a lot. You like how I threw Chelsea in there?
It's Pochettino's fault.
Let me know what you guys think again in the comment section. Thank you, sir, for coming on again. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Watch out.